Welcome to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly. This is primarily a drone show. We'll be sharing adventures from all over the world. We hope to have interesting guests every week, and we're glad that you tuned in tonight. We'll be flying different drones in different locations. We encourage viewer participation in the chat. If you have a question, don't be afraid to ask. Every week, we'll have another interesting guest. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. We'll be sharing various adventures by our guests as well as myself. And thank you for joining us tonight. Hi, welcome everybody. Welcome to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly Live. It's Thursday night, 7 p.m. And I appreciate you all taking the time to tune in. I know you could be, doing other things, but you're taking the time to watch my live stream, and I really appreciate it. And we've been doing this over 3 years now. I can't believe it. Time really, really just flies by, as they say, But I have a great guest, special guest. And if you saw the Facebook post and the YouTube post, you know who it is. It's Greg Reverdiau of Pilot Institute. And, I've known Greg now over 5 years. I can't believe that, too. And he's one of our biggest sponsors at the South Florida Drone Meetup. He's been on board since the first one, and every year he sponsors it, and we truly appreciate that. And I know I did some unboxings already, so you sort of know what, if you've seen the Facebook posts and the YouTube posts, you know what they are. But I'm going to mention them again tonight and thank him when he comes on the show, because we truly appreciate it. We really do. But as you guys know, I really haven't been out flying that much, We had a TFR in place. President Trump was at Mar-a-Lago and the whole Palm Beach area. I think it was a 30-mile radius. We had the TFR, temporary flight restriction, and we couldn't fly. But as soon as he left, I ended up getting out to one of my favorite spots, and I flew this great DJI Mini 4. I keep it in the back of my Santa Fe, and I went there with my wife, and I had forgot that I even had it. And I said, "Oh, I do got the drone. Let me send it up for a few minutes." So I ended up sending it up and flying at Du Bois Park in Jupiter, and I had a good time flying. But you forget how great a drone that little drone is, really. And I just want to take a minute or so and share a little of that. On second thought, I'm going to share a different video, because I had the pleasure of flying with some great drone pilots down in Fort Lauderdale before
the guy's here to fix the leak on your solid gold faucet.
President Trump came to town, and I have to say, we had a great time flying down there. But let me welcome in some people before I show a little of the video. And I know Paul Brown, he was number one. He checked in early this afternoon. And I always appreciate it when people check in early. And TJ, he was right behind him. And I know I saw Angel, Drone Guy 42. He's watching up in New Jersey. How you doing, Angel? And Bud Beaver was checked in, and John Olson from Long Island. And I'll tell you guys, it means so much to me, really, that you take the time out to watch the live stream. But John Gregory's in the chat. How you doing, John? And he just bought and received the Mavic for thermal drone, and he posted some pictures of it. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy for John, really, because he deserves it. Really, he's such a great guy. I had the pleasure of flying with him a couple of times now. Well, quite a few times now. So congratulations, John, and all the best with it. Really, I know you're gonna love it. So. Let's see who else is in the chat. I'll just mention a few more names, and we got Barkley. He's watching tonight in Tennessee. So how you doing, Barkley? Good to see you. And Bud Beaver, how you doing, Bud? Scotty, Jack Rabbit's watching. How you doing, Scotty? Good to see you. And while I'm talking about Scotty, let me just tell you, he has told me he's making up a new poster for the fifth annual South Florida Drone Meetup, and he's added a few more pilots. So we're gonna be able to see who they are, and usually he makes a few extra copies, and you can get a copy, and he donates a couple that we give away right at the South Florida Drone Meetup. So thank you to Scott for that. Really, he's such a talented artist, really. And Bob Casey's in the house. How you doing, Bob? Good to see you. And John Flying Flynn Media. How you doing, John? Good to see you. Hope it warms up there up in Michigan. I feel bad for you flying in the freezing cold, but you get out there and you fly, and I give you credit, in the freezing cold, and you're out there making videos. So kudos to you. Let me just mention a few more names, and I think Greg is almost all out of shrimp and lobster in the back room, but I'll be bringing him in very shortly. Dusty, East Coast Thrills, how you doing? Good to see you. And we got Joe Fotoleo in the house tonight. How you doing, Joe? Good to see you. And let's see, who else? If I miss your name, I'm sorry. I don't do it on purpose. And we got Vic. How you doing, Vic? Good to see you, Drone Service Providers Alliance. Always good to see Vic. He does such great things for our drone community. And he's also in his Moss photography too. So, but anyway, good to see Vic. And we got Ken, place it here. Always good to see Ken. And I'm going to get back to the names very shortly. And I see Jeremy, some drone guy. Good to see Jeremy. And as you guys know, and I'll be showing it a little later, Jeremy donated our top prize, a DJI Air 3S, some lucky giveaway prize winner's going to go home with that. So thank you to Jeremy. And he also makes the merch, just to let everybody know. He's not offering it for free no more. I guess he ended up getting more orders than he could handle. But if you want the South Florida, 5th Annual South Florida Drone Meetup, you can go to sfdmshop.com, and Jeremy will make it up for you and send it out to you. And he's got quite a few merch. It's not just shirts. So thank you, Jeremy, for handling the shirts this year and for giving them away for free as long as you did. I was waiting for you to stop, and thank you so much, really. And we got Ronnie, God Bless America, in the house, and Jim Anderson and Josh Primark. How you doing? Good to see you. All right, that's enough. I'll keep an eye out, try to watch for who comes in and mention you. But I would like you all to give a warm welcome to my special guest, Greg Reverdiau of Pilot Institute. Hey, Greg.
Hey, Ray. How's it going?
Welcome. And Greg's coming to us all the way from Arizona.
That's right.
So how's it going? How's everything going, Greg?
Everything is going really well. We've got so much going on right now that our heads are spinning, but it's a good thing. I'd rather be busy than bored.
Exactly. I know you got big things coming, and we'll talk about that shortly. But I personally wanted to say thank you to you for sponsoring our South Florida Drone Meetup. You've been doing it 5 years now. I got your package right here. Right here.
Yep.
This is your box. and I've showed it already, but here's the lanyards, guys, the Pilot Institute lanyard. And as you know, the first 150 people that attend and sign in, they get one of the lanyards along with the South Florida Drone Meetup ID cards that Brad Alston makes up, and we really appreciate this, Greg. We really do.
Well, I'm really glad that we can do that. So you're very welcome.
But the other thing that you do is you sponsor our lunch. You know, we don't put out a fancy lunch. We get pizza, and you have donated to make that happen. So thank you for sponsoring our lunch.
You're very welcome.
And you also generously donate 5 free Part 107 courses. So really, Greg, you really help us out a lot. So thank you from me and the rest of the South Florida Drone Meetup Committee. Thank you very much.
Well, you're very welcome. We can't always make it because there's always an airplane event at the same time, but this is the least that we can do to help the community. And I know a lot of folks that go to the event are fans of the brand. So anything that we can do to give back to the community, we're happy to do that.
Yeah, no, I know it's too bad it conflicts with Sun and Fun, if I remember
Sun and
right.
Fun.
That's the name of the event that you set up a booth at it, and
Yep.
that's
Yeah,
a
it's a big event.
That's a very big event from what I've been told. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not far. It's in Lakeland, but every time that the event is going on is the last day of the show, the Saturday and Sunday, and then the Sunday is when we have to pack everything before we leave on that Monday. So it's always a rush to get everything done, which is crazy.
Yeah. You know, another thing, Greg, really, I hope to get up there one day to Sun and Fun. I really do, because I've heard of it before I even knew you.
Mhm.
That is such a great event. But you know, I don't know if you noticed, but I got your sticker right on my little mini drone
Yep.
with the
Yep.
registration number on it. You're still doing that, right? You make up the stickers?
Yeah, we're still doing that. We started, we were only going to do 10,000 of them, and then now we just passed 50,000. So we're just going to keep on going now. This was something that we did originally to bring awareness to the different people online that were trying to get $30 or $40 for registration from drone pilots that didn't know any better, when it's only $5 on the FAA website. So we kind of took that on as a marketing campaign to bring awareness to these schemes, if you want to call them that. And then the community loved it. We see them on drones all the time, and so we decided to continue doing that. So we have a high school student actually in our office that comes in every day and prints hundreds of them. We do hundreds of them every single day, and then we ship them over. And yeah, so we'll keep doing that for sure forever.
I can imagine, and I bet you it helped get some lost drones returned to the owner too, because it has the registration number, it has your phone number on it, and the expiration date. And I'm
we
sure.
we have several stories actually of people that contacted us because either the phone number was no longer available that was on the sticker, but they found a drone, they saw our Pilot Institute logo on there, and then they contacted us, and then we put them in touch with the owner, and then they were able to get the drone back. So it's really cool.
That's great. It really is. It's a great thing, a great service that you provide for us drone pilots. Really. Hey, we got Al. Time to fly. He's watching from California. How you doing, Al? Good to see you.
I see Bob. Bob has a question about Trust. He says, "How many have used the portal for Trust?" I just looked 2 days ago. I was doing a presentation. Yeah, 130,000 people have done Trust on our website. The FAA told us that we're the largest trust provider in the country, so we'll also keep doing that, which is, I think, one of the best things the FAA has done over the years is the trust program. It's free, it's educational, and hopefully it helps people not fly where they're not supposed to.
No, that is great. That little course helps a lot of drone pilots, and it is definitely a good thing. And I know there's a lot of pilots that still don't know that they need that before they start flying.
Yep.
I know when we're flying, and I'm sure it happens to you also, but you get the general public comes up while you're flying and starts asking you questions,
Yep.
and I myself personally tell them about the trust certification, and I always say go through Pilot Institute on it. So, you
Oh,
know,
that's awesome. Thank you.
so um, I'm not really that good at looking for the questions. I'm glad you picked up that one from Bob. Um, but I'll try to keep an eye out too. And if anybody else has questions for Greg, please put them in the chat. I'll probably miss them, but maybe Greg will say them. But so you're moving into a new studio, huh? That's a big thing. Yeah.
It's a big thing. Yeah, last year we knew our lease was coming to an end, and we had to start looking for either continuing the lease where we are, or get our new home. And so we found a building that's about 3 times the size of what we have now, and that was going to give us room to grow and get bigger. So we pulled the trigger, and we got inspections done today. We have one more inspection done tomorrow, and then I'm hoping that by the end of the month or early next month, we'll be able to move in and be fully operational from there. So it's been a long time coming. We're a couple months behind because of, well, because it's construction, and these things take longer than expected. So,
Right.
but yeah, we can see the end of the tunnel now. So I will have a bigger studio. We'll have a fully dedicated studio that's gigantic. We'll have the ability to do 6 different sets actually, with different backgrounds, a place where we can do B-roll, a place where we can have our podcast, and the ability to just do a lot of different backgrounds in our videos. And then in the courses as well, we have a bigger green screen. We'll have 2 different classrooms available as well for students to come in person, to do training in person with us. And yeah, just overall more room for our employees and for the business to grow. So I can't wait to share with everyone what it looks like. And it's going to take us a couple of weeks to get situated and get fully operational, but once we do, you'll start to see new sets and new backgrounds in our videos.
Well, I'll tell you, your videos and your productions are very, very impressive. At least I'm very impressed with them. You could tell it's a professional operation, and I know you got some staff
Yes.
rather than being like me where I don't have any staff right here.
I've been there. I actually used to operate from this room that I'm in right now. This is in my house. This is where I kind
Yeah.
of started the business. I had a green screen on one side and then a blue screen on the other side, and that's where I did all my videos. So, but now, yeah, we are moving to much bigger and much larger sets, and like you said, I have great employees and staff that just are doing an amazing job behind the scene. They make me look good. Everybody thinks it's me, but it's really the entire team that's doing all the work in the back. So,
Well, I'll tell you, not only do you have a very successful training school, um, I mean, we all talk about the Part 107, but you train actual pilots, airplane
Mhm.
pilots, also aircraft pilots, also, right?
Ye-
Can you talk a
yeah,
little bit about that?
yeah, absolutely. And this is kind of, this is my background. This is where I started, which is training pilots. I managed flight schools for 17 years before I did Pilot Institute. And so I spent a lot of time figuring out how to do this on the manned aircraft side, and then brought all that knowledge to the drone side. This is why I love teaching drone pilots, because I can give them a perspective that I think not a whole lot of people can give. And so we continue to do this. We're actually going to be training dispatchers as well, which is a very unknown position at the airlines. It's a group of people that do all the paperwork for pilots and dispatch the aircraft to actually provide the weather information, the route, the weight and balance. And that's a very in-depth training. It's 200 hours of training. and we're going to do this in person in the new building. So that's one of the reasons we wanted to move into the new place. I see Bob is asking how big is the new place. The new place is 15,000 square feet. So we have about 5,000 square feet right now. So we're going to triple the size. The new studio in itself is going to be close to 5,000 square feet. So just the studio alone is as big as all of the space we have now for our employees and the studio. So it's going to be a great move. But yeah, we provide all of that, and we have flight attendant training that's coming up as well. We've been working on this in the back end, and then we have helicopter training that's also coming up very soon online. So all these things have been on the back burner, or on the burner, I should say, and then just the whole team working. We have a little over 20 employees now that are working on the back to create content, create stuff for social media on the airplane side or on the drone side. So we've been extremely busy, which is a blessing.
That's awesome. It really is. It's awesome. But I got good news, guys, in the chat. Greg graciously offered to do a giveaway of one of the Part 107 courses tonight on the show. And if you already have a Part 107 course, you'll have your choice of another course, right, Greg?
Yes, if you can pick whatever other course you want. If you already have the Part 107, anything that's in the calendar, let us know, and then we'll set you up in there.
All right, good. Because John Olson's very interested in drone mapping. So, but anyway,
I see people asking about how to get the stickers for your drone. Just go to free. Hold on. I think it's pilotinstitute.com/free or free.pilotinstitute.com. I'm trying to log in here so I can talk in the chat and put the link. I'll do that in a second.
Yeah, right. No, those stickers are great. They really are.
Yeah, it's pilotinstitute.com/free if you want to go on there. For some reason, it's not letting me post. It's not letting me post. I think because it's a link. Typically, YouTube doesn't like links in the comment. Let me see if I can write it this way. But yeah.
But you could find it pretty clearly on the website too. It's pretty easy to find on there.
It's at the bottom. But yeah, pilotinstitute.com/free will take you there.
Yeah. Oh, there's that question. I gotcha. Okay. And now, do we have another question? Yeah, good question. Okay. All right. But Greg, now you fly for fun also, correct? I know we've had the conversation in the past. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
you fly FPV. You like FPV too, right?
I fly FPV. I can't say that I'm good at it. I'm like most people that just are starting. I just don't dedicate enough time to doing it. And as you know, it takes time to do it. My biggest issue with FPV is that the controls are very similar, but different enough to flying an airplane that it messes me up. In FPV, you use the yawing quite a bit to turn, which is the complete opposite of doing that in an airplane, where you use roll to actually turn the aircraft. So my brain has, it's called negative transfer of knowledge, where I use my airplane pilot skills to fly FPV, and it doesn't always end up well. So, but I enjoy it. We enjoy when the weather is better. We go out with the team and try to fly drones. Now that we moved to the new place, we're going to do Fly Day Friday again. Every Friday morning we go and fly drones. Good. And it just it helps the team. So
good. I'll be looking forward to that. Yeah, you have some great places to fly out there by you.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we have beautiful landscape all around between Sedona. Even in Prescott, we have beautiful lakes and rocks and mountains, and yeah, it's a beautiful place to live.
What would you say is your favorite place out by you to fly?
It's called Watson Lake. You see it a lot in our videos. It's a lake with a lot of red rocks that are in the water, and it's just a beautiful. There's a green field, a grass field right there where we can set the drone and set all the equipment. So if you've ever seen some of our videos outside, that's typically where we go. But we have a couple other lakes that we go to, the alpine lakes, I would call them, out in the mountains, and yeah, it's just beautiful. And I see there's a question from 107 Drones talking about thermal drones. We don't have a thermal course at the moment, something that we're working on, but I'm trying to find the right person to teach the course. So, but we have the
That's a good
curriculum actually
question,
ready to
Barkley.
go.
Yeah,
Yep.
a lot of people are interested in that. You know, I know,
Yeah.
like I said, John Gregory, he just bought the Mavic 4 thermal. So, but
Yep.
anyway, oh, I got a kick out of Vic's comment too. So
That's right. Especially the makeup
I think,
part, that's important. Vic has been in the
yeah.
studio quite a bit, so he's seen the behind the scene of what the team does to get everything ready.
Well, you guys must have a good time now. Yeah, that's the impression I get because I notice you tease each other a lot.
Yes, we do, and even inside the team, all of our folks are enjoy that we do different things all the time. So they all love doing production in general. So being behind the camera, finding new techniques, finding new equipment. That's why you see the channel changing so much, is because we're trying new things. And it's fun to be around people that are excited to do stuff.
Yeah. Bob Casey has a question also about LiDAR.
Oh, testing LiDAR features. Yeah, we have a little bit of a course that we do to try to test, especially the place I talked about, Watson Lake. We go out and there's a couple trees that are positioned well enough, so we put it to the test. We also have a one wheel. I don't do the one wheel; it's too dangerous for me. But the guys in my team love to get on the one wheel and then put the obstacle avoidance system to the test. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's good. That's good. Well, just to let you know, Greg, we have 137 people signed up for the fifth annual South Florida Drone Meetup.
That is
And
awesome.
we really expect to break 150 again, like we did last year. But again, your sponsorship to our meetup means so much, and I'm going to say that a few times tonight. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Really.
I'm really glad we can do that. I see some drone guy is asking where we are in Arizona. We're in Prescott, Arizona. It's about an hour and a half north of Phoenix. So Vegas is pretty much 4 hours on the dot from Prescott to Vegas. So it's an easy drive too on the highway.
Yeah, and we got Marcus, Idaho Quadcopter, in the chat. How you doing, Marcus? Yeah. And can you explain about this Air Aware app that Marcus is referring to, Greg?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it was about a year ago now, maybe a little longer than that. The FAA decided to discontinue the Before You Fly app, and as you know, Aloft, the company, was the one that had put out the app with the FAA. And so they reached out to us and said, do you want to work together on kind of resurrecting the app, if you want, and adding more content to it? So we've added educational content, and then we basically sponsored the app to stay alive under a different name. And then ever since, the FAA created this new program, which they also called Before You Fly. Even though it wasn't an app, it was a program to allow other people to join and also create their own apps. So there is different apps under the Before You Fly program now that people can go to. So Aloft, Air Aware kind of became the recreational app from Aloft, and Air Control is the Part 107 app. What they found over the years is that people that were using Air Control just had too many options that they don't need. If you fly recreationally, you don't need all of these things, requesting waivers and having like all of the equipment that you can track inside the app. So they made a simpler version that had all of the information for recreational pilots. So that's what we sponsored. And then we're working with them now to add more features. So there's going to be the ability to submit lens requests directly from AirAware that's coming out to the app probably very soon. They just got acquired by a big company, so they're going to be having, I think, more funds to be able to add all these features and everything. So it's good. It's a great connection with the folks at Aloft. I really enjoy working with them. I think they want to do good for the industry, which is something that we share. So I'm excited to be working with them.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. You know, no, that's great that you got that opportunity and you have created that. No, I I was a big before you fly guy. I would always
Mhm.
recommend that to people. You know, and but yeah, we got Ronnie talking about the record that we have to break at the South Florida drone meetup. You know, Greg, what we do is we try to get as many drones up flying at the same time as possible. And it's
Yep.
nothing like a drone show and nothing like that. But we went from 2 years ago to 18, and last year we had 28 up there flying together. So we're going to try to break that this year at the fifth annual South Florida Drone Meetup.
Oh,
So
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will.
yeah, with no casualties, no
Yes,
casualties.
that's
So
the important part.
yeah, don't worry, Bob. I'm sure Jeremy will have a sticker for you. He's coming. He makes them up. So, but either way, yeah, I'll put this one on the side for you. So, but um, and now I want to talk about the tip of the week. I have a little format. I talk about it, a little tip, nothing real sophisticated. And this year's tip is always check for TFRs prior to flying. You know, um, like I talked about earlier in the show, we had a TFR in place. You know, President Trump was in town. We couldn't fly. Um, and it's a good thing to do. Don't you agree, Greg?
Oh, yes, 100%. Before every flight, you should be checking for that. Checking for airspace and checking for TFRs. Um, Very important. We just put out a video actually about
I have it queued up.
a
I think. Go
oh,
ahead.
okay.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
about Navy vessels,
Yeah.
which the Navy reached out to us and say, hey, listen, we keep having to talk to pilots because they're flying too close to Navy vessels. So can you make a video that helps people?
We'll
And
show it,
so,
And on
and
top
you
of
can
that, it can
explain
move
it.
at any
yep.
Uh,
So we created yeah, it's very short. It's really a minute and a half, but it explains kind of
time.
everything.
Now, if you fly your drone anywhere near the coast, you need to know about this flight
I
restriction,
thought this was
what
very,
happens if you
very
break it,
informative.
and more importantly, how to avoid it, because this covers Navy ships both in port and underway. And I'll be honest, I didn't know about this until the Navy asked us to make a video about it. So let's talk about how to remain outside of the restriction described in NOTAM 3-6405. And if you're not familiar, NOTAM means Notice to Airmen. The flight restriction extends from 3,000 feet from the ship and goes up to 1,000 feet and is designated as what's called a national defense airspace. This is the same thing that we see in Washington, D.C., around Disney, and also at Kennedy Space Center. But unlike those, this specific restriction is not depicted on any charts. And the penalties for flying there include steep fines, certificate revocation, and even criminal charges. But here's the good news. Avoiding these restrictions is actually pretty simple once you know what to look for. Navy ships are generally gray, have a large number or set of numbers that's called a hull number that's painted near the bow, which is the front of the ship. These ships may or may not be armed. They will have the American flag at the top of the mast and may have other flags denoting the name of the ship. They could also be black-hulled submarines or hospital ships. Now remember, that gray ship in the distance isn't just another boat. It's a moving no-fly zone. Always maintain at least 3,000 feet of distance and then use your zoom lens if you need to get the shot. And if you want to check how to fly in other restricted flying zone, be sure to watch this video right here. And if you want more educational drone videos, be sure to subscribe.
That's a great video, really.
Some of them have seen it before, and they're still in awe just as much
I,
as they
I
were when they
learned. I
saw it in a
learned
video
so
or a
much,
post.
really.
And maybe
All right, let's
Yeah,
see if
it can get people in trouble.
I don't know what's going on. There we go. Okay.
Yep.
So, but I didn't. I wasn't familiar with that, and it was very, very informative, really.
Yeah, you can definitely get in trouble easily with those, and apparently they catch people all the time, and that's why they talk to them. They don't really fine people. They just try to explain that it's an issue. But hopefully we can get some pilots out of trouble.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. You know, um, but I don't know if I missed any questions while I was playing. If I missed them, I'm sorry, guys. Um,
I'm keeping an eye. There's a question from Copper State that said, "What is your thoughts on wilderness areas here in Arizona?" Yeah, we have quite a few wilderness areas because there's a lot of really nice areas where, unfortunately, you cannot fly your drone inside of wilderness areas, or taking off and landing inside of wilderness areas, I should say. Technically, it is legal to fly from the outside into the wilderness areas, but I don't recommend it because you could be creating issues. So, but yeah, that's something to keep an eye on. And um, they're not easily found, unfortunately. So the sectional chart is one of the best part, and I know it's hard sometimes to read the sectional charts, but yeah, that's where I would do. I think Aloft Air Control has them now. They've added quite a few of them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, again, I did not have a drone. Okay. But Greg, you have the live stream on Monday nights now where you do a Q&A, and it's a very successful live stream. You really get a lot of viewers every week, and they have some great questions.
Yep, you'd think by now we have answered all the questions, but no. Every week we get. I think one time we did 80 questions in one night, in 1 hour. So it's more than a question a minute. But typically it's about 40 to 50 questions that we do during the hour, and I think it helps. We have a lot of newcomers into the hobby, so it's important to have a place for them to answer these questions and give them the right information. And yeah, so we do that every Monday at 5 o'clock our time, which is typically 7 o'clock Eastern. But it's changing now because you guys change, but we don't change time in Arizona. So when the new time comes in, it's going to be 8 o'clock Eastern. I'm sorry, I take that back. It's 4 o'clock our time, 6 o'clock Eastern right now, and it will be 7 o'clock Eastern very soon, early March, when we switch.
Well, I know you learn so much watching your live stream, really. The questions are just so informative, and you really give great information, so.
Well, thank you. It keeps me sharp
You
too,
guys
because sometimes I
don't
get
know
questions.
about it, start watching it because it's a great live stream, And if you're not subscribed to Pilot Institute, do that now, guys, before the show even ends, So
I see I see Vic says, talk about mentors. I had a presentation yesterday for the what's called the drone pros. The FAA has this group of drone pros that they use nationwide to spread information. And they asked me to make a presentation about how to become a mentor. And I think this is important for anybody watching. Become a mentor to someone who just got a drone. There's no such thing as a dumb question when people get started, because it's hard for them to find information. We want them to feel welcome. I see people sometimes on forums saying, well, this is dumb. Why don't you know that? Well, people are not born knowing information, so we have to give it to them. So be a mentor to someone, especially right now, right around Christmas. Right after Christmas, people get their drones under the Christmas tree, and we can help them make sure they don't do something stupid. Anytime somebody does something stupid, we take a hit as an industry, commercial or recreational. So we want to make sure we avoid as much as we can the bad press that we get.
Yeah, I know. I take the time out to talk to people when I'm flying, and they come up and ask me questions about flying. I try to tell them, stick around, let me land the drone, and I'll explain it all to you. And you know what I do also, Greg, is I offer them the controller. I hold the controller, but I let them work the sticks a little bit. And a few people are taking me up on it, and they say, wow, this is pretty easy to fly.
Yeah, I think when you have the right attitude and people come to you, they'll leave with a good taste of what drones can do. Because we get questions sometimes, hey, don't spy on me. They kind of say it laughingly, but they're semi-serious. And so we talk to them, and I say, hey, listen, I'm going to bring the drone really close to us, and I want you to look on the screen what it looks like. The drone is like 3 feet away from us, and this is as this is as big as you're ever going to be on my screen. If I'm 200 feet away over there, I can't see. You really mean nothing on my screen. You're something about this big. So I think it's important to show people what we're looking at on the drone. And then people quickly realize, well, okay, you want to see the landscape. You don't want to see me, this big on your screen.
Exactly. And that's a good point, really, And people are so impressed when they see the video right on the screen. At least that's what I've found. Wow. They're so impressed with it. Another thing that I promote as much as I can is to get children involved in flying. My little logo that my saying, let's get kids hooked on drones, not drugs, And I think I've got a few of them hooked, including my son,
Yeah, once they get hooked on drones, they don't have money for drugs, so that's perfect.
So, but anyway, let me say hello to Brad. He's in the chat now. How you doing, Brad? I meant to say hello earlier. So, and Brad also makes the coasters. I talked about his ID holders, but he makes the coasters for us, and that is such a great thing, really. So, thank you again, Brad. Really. So, am I missing anything, Greg? Dano, let's see.
No, I'm looking at the chat to see if we have more questions.
Yeah. Okay.
I see Brad was doing the winter fly-in recently, so we help with that as well. So you're welcome, Brad. I'm glad that we could help you with that.
That's right. I saw a little bit about that. I guess that was a totally successful event.
Yeah, he just emailed me yesterday. Yeah, he emailed me yesterday and said they had a great turnout and a lot of people flying. So that was awesome.
Yeah. No, that's great. When you hear about different events throughout the country, like even Bob out in Vegas, their first annual Vegas drone meetup was such a total success, really. And I was hoping,
it was.
So happy for Bob and Tom and everybody who was involved with that. And I know you guys were a sponsor of that event also.
Yep. Yeah, and we were there because it's, like a few hours away from us. So we made the trip and we were there on Saturday, Sunday. And yeah, that was awesome.
So let's hear it from you. What'd you think about it? Or what was the best part of that Vegas drone meetup?
It was really cool to just be able to sit down with people. When I go to trade shows, we usually have a booth and people feel rushed. They want to come talk to us and say thank you or have a discussion about a topic. And then there's always somebody kind of waiting behind them to talk. And so they only get to talk for a few minutes. This is a chance to have a more cozy setting where people can sit down and have longer conversations. So I always appreciate these kind of events. And then it was cool. They had a demo from the LAPD that showed how they have the drones kind of in the back of the car where they can go and deploy them at any time and just go fly them. So they had somebody doing a demo of that. And then, but yeah, just overall, the camaraderie of being around other folks that can fly. And same thing, for us, we fly a lot for testing drones and for doing all these things. And here we get to fly for fun, quite frankly, and just go and get cool footage. So it's always good and good to catch up. Ken Dono was there, Billy was there. So we always get to catch up with our good friends and it's fun.
Well, that's the big thing about the drone meetups. Anyway, The South Florida drone meetup is like one big happy family reunion every year now. You know, a lot of the old timers come back, and it's great to see them and fly with them. And it's not so much about flying; it's about seeing the old friends, and having good conversation and having a good time. And we get quite a few new drone pilots that come too, which is very, very good. And our event is listed in the Martin County event guide, and a lot of people aren't even part of our drone, our little drone community that we have online, the live stream, but they show up, and it's great. It's great to see that. So
And Vic was there too, I have to say. I see that he mentioned it. I see Vic so much now that I don't even remember where I saw him. So I just saw him last week. I was
I was
in
there. Don't
Denver.
yeah, he was there.
Yeah, we had an
So,
event. There was an event in Denver, so I flew over there and then met with Vic for 2 days. That was fun catching up.
well, I saw that Vic was down in D.C. today, I think, or yesterday.
Yeah, today, and I think tomorrow as well, if I remember
Okay.
correctly. Is
We'll have
yeah,
to
he's
pick
you know
your
what?
brain about that, Vic.
Well, you know what he's doing. You should invite him on the show next week so he can talk about the things that
Yeah.
he's done. But he's out there to spread the word on a couple things, but including this. And I should probably let him talk about this, but talking about the new NDAA thing that came out at the end of last year, where there is a requirement for DJI drones to be tested by an agency in the government, and there is a list of
Interesting.
agencies that could take on the job. And so Vic is out there. I think it's section 1709, if I remember correctly, and he's out there to see if that can happen, because otherwise we can be in trouble with the DJI ban. So
Okay.
he's talking about this, and then he's talking about a couple other things as well, but primarily,
Very
yeah,
interesting.
1709 of the NDA, and then he's also talking about the issues with CBP, Custom Border Patrol, that is blocking DJI drones at port of entry. He's trying to get behind why this is happening and see if we can unblock this thing. So he's out there helping all of you that are watching, because that's what Vic does with
He does
the
so
various
much.
organizations. He does a ton.
Yes,
So
he does. Thank
kudos
you,
to
Vic.
him.
We appreciate
Yep.
it. Believe me.
He's freezing out there. He sent me a picture where it was really cold, apparently today
Anyway,
on the East Coast.
We got a little question from Marcus, Idaho quadcopter, Greg. He wants to know
Yeah.
if we'll ever get a system to get instant beyond visual line of sight approval, much like Lance. What do you think about that?
Interesting. So I think, and I'm speculating here because I don't have any behind the scene information, but Part 108, a lot of people have been talking about Part 108. I believe will be a pathway for people to fly beyond visual line of sight. I don't know that it's going to be necessarily like a Lance request. I think it's going to be more of a long-term authorization to do that in certain, kind of like a waiver if you think about it. So I'm hoping that's how it works. Now, I'm not saying that the FAA has this concept on paper of an airspace reservation system, and they call it a 4D reservation system, where you can reserve a block of airspace at a specific time. And they call it 4D because it's 3-dimension plus time. So you would say, hey, I'm going to be flying here in this tube at 200 feet to go in this direction and then land over there, block the airspace for me during that time. And then the rest of the time it's open for anybody else that wants to use it. So that's kind of a concept that I can see we would have in the future in busy airspace. But I think for beyond visual line of sight, it's going to be mostly in open areas for right now. And then you will just be able to fly with specific approval. So we do have a waiver to fly in one specific area here in Arizona. Now, obviously, Arizona doesn't have a ton of population outside of Phoenix. And we have a corridor that's 11 miles long that we are allowed to fly beyond visual line of sight, as long as we have a visual observer that follows the drone. So we did it in an area that has a dirt road, and we have a little Jeep that we drive to follow the drone. And then that's how we're able to do beyond visual line of sight testing of drones legally and find out how long they can fly. So I can see something like this in the future happening.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. That's very interesting too. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Great question, Marcus. Yeah. So you want to do your giveaway for the Part 107 course right now?
Let's do it.
We'll put in, I got a very sophisticated system between 1 and 25. Put in the lucky number. I'll write it right here. And I'll tell Greg what it is. So guys, put 1 to 25, put it in the chat right now. And I'll try to keep an eye out on it. And Greg will also. So
okay, I see it.
And I usually miss it. So
Okay, I found it.
Somebody has it
CT
already?
Pirate. Yeah, CT Pirate, got it. Second
Oh,
try.
wow.
Second number in there.
Oh, God. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah.
Number 22.
Congratulations. All right. Very, very cool, John. Very cool. So get a hold of Greg. And thank you, Greg, for doing that. Really.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Send me an email at contact@pilotinstitute.com, and then we'll set you up. And I don't know if you have your 107 yet, but if you don't, just any other courses you see on the website, let us know.
Very, very cool. Well, I know you just made John's night. So, but anyway, that's great. That's great. Um, all right. But anyway, I also show a viewer video, a few minutes of a viewer video. And this week I picked Johnny Drone Flyer because he says I can show any of his videos at any time, and he's becoming quite the FPV drone pilot. So, yeah, see, never fails though because
This is a secret of the used car market, but many people still don't know it.
commercial
For
popped
years,
up.
the car
You
care
know
industry has made you believe that removing scratches
I'm telling you, it's the little things, Greg. It's the little
It's always
things.
like that. I'm surprised it wasn't a Pilot Institute ad.
Well, we'll try to cue that up again and eliminate that commercial. But Johnny, like I said, Johnny is becoming quite the FPV drone pilot. Um, Johnny is also sponsoring. He's on the drone meetup committee, but he's sponsoring the meetup with an awesome donation of a custom-made Mario 5 FPV drone, and his son-in-law built it, and it looks like such a cool drone to fly. And I know some lucky FPV pilot's going to win it.
That's
Along
really
with
cool.
he's also donating shirts and hats and some South Florida drone meetup tumblers. And now I
Mhm.
can't find the video. I had it all queued up, and now I can't find it. But anyway, yeah. Oh, there it is. Okay, Mario 5. All right. All right. So forgive me for this little mix-up, Greg, but
Oh, it's all good. No worries.
I know Johnny will appreciate us showing his little FPV flight. And he's getting fancy with his intros too. So, but I remember when Johnny was first starting to fly, and he actually gave up
Oh, wow.
after a few months of trying. He gave up FPV. He said, "I'm not going to do it." But then he gave it another try. About a year later, practiced a lot on the sim, and so many guys have helped him and taught him along the way. But now he can do flips and twirls while he's flying and everything. So, kudos to Johnny. Really. This drone really has a great camera on it too. Really.
Yeah.
He usually flies in his neighborhood. That's his neighborhood there, where he lives. What a beautiful day, too.
Yeah, it is.
But if you guys want to watch more of that video or any more of Johnny's videos, tune into his channel. And if you're not subscribed to Johnny, subscribe. So Johnny Drone Flyer from Louisiana. So, but and I know I must have missed some questions while I was doing that. And
Josh is asking what my favorite drone is to fly. At the moment, I mean, I think forever drawn at the moment is the Inspire 2. Always love the Inspire 2. I don't have enough stick time with the Inspire 3, but I'm sure that would probably be my new favorite if I had one. But the Inspire 2, I always love the idea of being able to change the lenses and get footage with that. So we still have ours. We still fly it every once in a while, but that would be my favorite. The current, more recent drones that I really like is the Air 3S. I think
Okay.
anybody who wants to buy a drone these days that has the budget for the Air 3S, I'm going to send them over to the Air 3S. I think it's got the one of the best sensors that we've tested. Price point to image quality is there. It's just a great drone. So hard to beat that, I can tell you. There you go.
I just happen to have one right here, Greg.
Yep.
DJI Air 3S. Thanks
it's a
to
great
Jeremy
platform.
Alms. So this is going to be given away at the South Florida Drone Meetup. So thank you again, Jeremy. Some drone guy, but it's a great drone. Everybody who has that drone loves it, right? I haven't heard any negative comments about that drone, really.
No, it's hard to complain about it for sure.
But Bob Casey wanted to know how many drones we'll be giving away at the raffle. But we got 3 Neos here, and this is from Tom Dowling. This is from Rob Kamada. So thank you, and this is from John Gregory, Connecticut Pirates. So thank you so much for the Neos, guys. And we also got some other drones. I mentioned what Johnny's giving away. And Johnny's also giving away one of these. This is a Start RC mini drone. And I'll be giving one of these away also at the meetup. And Marcus has sent us 2 drones, but they're in the back. So I got to say thank you to Marcus, really. So thank you to all our sponsors, really. It means so much to us.
Oh,
and
that's
it's funny
cool.
how everybody gets so excited about winning the drones, So, but, and that's what it's all about, really, is coming to the meetup, flying, having a good time with the guys. And if you go home with something, there's very good chances you're going to go home with some type of giveaway. We get so many different prizes. So
I see Paul had a question earlier. He mentioned it a few times. He said, I had an emergency and had to run early, but I had a question for Greg. How does Pilot Institute carry on after your best student, me, finished and now has a 107? How do you go on?
Okay, yeah, all right.
We
That's
helped
a good
Paul
one,
when
Paul.
we helped Paul when he had his issue with the flying over the lake. So I'm glad that that's behind him now, and I'm glad he's out there flying and having fun.
I remember that, and I remember he was so appreciative to you, and he speaks so highly of your Part 107 course too. So, really. Well, I'll tell you, it's been a very interesting show, Greg. You've been a great special guest, really. It's always a pleasure having you on. And I look forward to meeting you in person someday. I feel like I know you very, very well, but I want to meet you in person. That's for sure. So,
well, if you can make the trip to Sun and Fun when we're there at the same time early on in the week, then we'll give you the presidential treatment coming over and visit at the booth.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. I would love to go there. I really would.
We'll even put a TFR up for you.
Yeah. Oh, all right. The dates of that are right after our meetup, right? The following week it starts, if I remember right.
So this year it is, it goes over it's the very end of March, that very last week, and then early April. So I think it starts on the 28th or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we get there that Saturday to set up everything. So
yeah, I know Michael Wright. Michael Wright made it one time after our meetup. He went up and visited you and the Pilot Institute booth, and he had a great time. You gave him the red carpet treatment,
We always do. Everyone that comes by and stops by, we have We have goodies. We have a lot of stuff available for people.
Yeah. Well, again, I want to thank you for being on. I want to thank everybody in the chat for taking the time out to watch tonight. I told you I have an awesome guest, and sure enough, true to my word, Greg, you've been so informative tonight. I know people learned a lot watching the show. And is that one more question? What's this one? What's this one? Okay, get your part 107. Yeah. All right. That's a good one, Marcus. Yeah.
I agree.
But anyway, thank you again, Greg, for sponsoring the South Florida Drone Meetup. It means so
You're very
much to
welcome.
us. We really appreciate it. People love going home with the lanyards. They really do. So, but anyway, guys, thank you for watching. And as Johnny and I say, get out there, fly for fun, but most importantly, fly safely. And we'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a good night, everybody.